welcome back. I hope you can hear me now. It's really loud outside. Okay, so this is a love letter to my community part 2. I realized in the part 1 that I did not clarify a lot of things that I was talking about, and there was one specific comment that stated that made me realize that, you know what, I wasn't exactly clear and I didn't give enough context or nuance to what I was saying. So yeah, because of that, I gave people the assumption that I was just talking out of my neck from a place of privilege. I'm going to read this comment to you. I'm going to put it up here as well, but it's 2 paragraphs long. So I'm going to read it to you and we're going to answer. We're going to go from there. Quick disclaimer. I'm not speaking to the ones who refuse to abandon the victim mindset. I am talking and speaking to those of us who have just about had it with this narrative, okay? I'm speaking to those of us who have the courage to look within ourselves, because what I'm about to say will get you riled up. What I'm about to say is really going to piss some of you off. So if you're not ready for that, just leave, okay? Protect your energy and leave, okay? So, a love letter to you, Black Sis. The apartheid government and policies along with the ANC, 30 years of corruption have made it difficult for Black South Africans to thrive. And I don't think we should always blame the government for everything, because they've been corrupt. There's never a time where the government has never been corrupt, right? But that didn't stop a lot of people from succeeding in life. But let's continue. Because of these factors, Black people are the ones who are mostly affected by socioeconomic issues in South Africa. In social anthropology, it's called coloniality. It's the 21st century, but white people in South Africa still own 75% of the land, while people of our color share the rest. And I understand that that's the case, and I don't agree with the fact that white people have more land than we do when it's actually our land. But on that note, the land that we do have, we don't take care of it. We don't. And I'm talking from experience, and I will get to that. I will share my experience with you guys. But let's continue to read what she has to say. And so after she says 75% of the land is owned by white people of color share the rest, and South Africa is still suffering from inequality, where there is a huge gap between those who have and those who have not. How about you go spend time with the Black people in the townships and informal settlements? I realized that in that video I didn't give you guys any background on me and my experience and the places that I've lived. So, you know, although there's literally only a few comments, I think 3 comments, and this is the only one that seems to show that she is very dissatisfied with what I had to say. And I realized that because I didn't give you guys enough explanation, made you guys have all these assumptions. But anyway, we will clarify that today. So let me continue reading. She says, how about you go spend time with the Black people in the townships and informal settlements before you can make your judgment about them. Stop speaking from a place of privilege. It sounds ignorant. FYI, I've been to Black businesses in the townships. Yes, their places are clean, and yes, they are kind. Did you see the news about the white farmer who sold expired food to people? Please don't generalize. And this is funny because she just said, I've been to Black businesses in the townships. Yes, their places are clean, and yes, they're kind. So she's technically generalizing, because I don't think every specific business is clean and the people are kind. I know that for a fact. So she's telling me not to generalize when she just did the same thing because it benefits the Black community. I mean, that's one problem that I have. It's so easy to give crap to other races, and we just get away with everything. It's like that thing of how white people can't be racist, but we're allowed to because we're victims. You know, I don't tolerate that. I think that's wrong. And I'm not saying I am praising the white people. I'm not saying that I'm glorifying them and I want us to be exactly like them. No. And yes, they are privileged in many ways, but there are white people living in the slums as well. There are some broke white people, a lot of broke white people in this country, in South Africa. So, and corruption is in every country, guys. It is in every country. There are people that are more privileged than others, but there are people who have also had little privilege and have still succeeded in life. We have a lot of celebrities that can attest to that. Okay, so what the government did, what the white people did, it's not enough to stop you from thriving as an individual, as a person of color. Okay, I hate that we keep blaming the government and the corruption and the white people for us not succeeding in life. Why are we giving them that power? You think we're helpless? You want the government to like hold your hand and feed you? No, that's not going to happen. You want the white people to help you? But let's continue. She says, please don't generalize, and no, black people are not lazy. It's just hard to find employment in a country with 31.9% of unemployment. Do you even know how many unemployed graduates we have in South Africa? It's hard to even start a business without capital, especially trying to start a business in an unconducive environment like the informal settlements. Maybe you should learn to empathize. From one black sister to the next. So that's the entirety of her comment, right? And if you watched that video, you would know that I refer to nothing about the politics and the statistics going on within our country, because I know that there's not a lot that we can do about it, right? But I was talking about the behavioral qualities of the black community, things that we could work on as a black community, right? They're looking at my laptop, right? Because I don't want to miss anything. So I have my notes here in my Word document, so yeah. I'm not talking about the people who refuse, okay, to abandon the victim mindset. Oh, it's the government's fault, it's ANC's fault that I'm broke, it's all these people's faults that I'm broke. It's not my fault. I'm black and I was oppressed. Technically, you weren't oppressed, your ancestors were, your grandparents probably were, but the time that we live in right now, we have a lot more access to things that they desperately fought for and sacrificed their lives for, and we are not taking advantage of that privilege that we do have now. We're so focused on the privileges we don't have, and we're not even focused on the privileges that we do have, you know? If you're so quick to read the news about what a white man did, you should read the news about what black people also have done and what we're capable of doing, okay? I don't want to get technical. I'm not Candace Owens. I would love her, and I aspire to be someone like her. But this video was for me to like empower and encourage my fellow black community, okay? Because I want us to do better. I know we can do better. I know we have that potential, okay? I know we do. We just don't want to put in the effort of mastering our crafts and mastering the talents that we have. Okay, and that's why I say some of us are lazy, because we don't want to work hard. We just want to be the victims and be empathize and be like have people sympathize with us and just feel sorry for us, that they just want to give us all their love and support. That's not how it works. Okay, just because we were oppressed before and we suffered a lot as a black community doesn't mean that everybody now has to just give us whatever we want on a silver platter without having to work for it or even show that that's what we want and that we're capable of maintaining that. Because with great power comes with great responsibilities, and we lack in that department. Being responsible is something that we really don't like doing in the black community, that I've seen a lot of black people just don't want to deal with, okay? We see it with the parents, especially the dads. They don't want to be responsible for their kids, something that they created, helped create, right? There are students who don't want to take responsibility for their education. They're too busy trying to date their teachers, sleep with taxi drivers, and I know that in some situations, some girls don't have any other choice because this person, this taxi driver, this teacher, is at least making sure I get my sanitary pads, and they're at least making sure that I get transport, because my parents, either I don't have parents or my parents don't care about me. So I know that there's a lot of circumstances that lead to these situations, but with the girls that I've met, I've come to realize that most of them, it's not like they don't have a choice, they do. It's just that this is easier for them. It's easier for them to do this, and they don't mind. They're not ashamed about it, and I don't judge you for that. But I don't want you to blame everyone else for your decisions and how your life turned out, because you do have a choice. And you chose the easier path to getting what you want, right? And I'm not going to judge you for that. I know life is hard, okay? I've been trying to exit for pretty much my whole life. I know how hard life is, okay? And I know how hard it is to try and make something of yourself. okay? I know how hard that is. So I'm not judging you for taking the easier path or taking a path that you feel like you are confident that you can achieve whatever it is that you're going for. I'm just saying that you don't have to, when things go south for you in the easy choices that you chose to make and the easy decision, like whatever choice that was easy for you to make, I don't want you to start blaming everybody else if you suffer the consequences of that choice. So I'm going to address some misconceptions based off of that comment. I didn't share my background, I realized in that first video, which led to this one person to assume that I'm living from a place of privilege, you know? I'm guessing she assumed I decided to make this video from my mansion in Santon. My mom and dad are millionaires, and I just was like looking at the scum of the earth and driving past rural areas that I never got to live in. I'm just like, ew, y'all need to do better. No, that's not the case. I grew up in townships. I live in a village, okay? A village that is way more rural than an actual township. Okay, I mean, we have cows and chickens, there's a crap ton of litter everywhere. There are no roads, there's just sand and rocks, which is very dangerous for the cars that drive here, but, you know, severe potholes, it's insane. And I bathe out of a bucket. You know, I bathe out of a bucket, I boil my water on a pot. So if you feel like I'm living a privileged life, trust me, I'm not. I know I don't look like it, and that's just thanks to my mom's genes, okay? But I know what it's like to live in poverty. I am living in that space. We moved around a lot, so I've been to small towns, I've been to big towns, I've been to cities, I've lived in townships, and right now I live in a village, okay, in a one room. I live in a village in Mkusu, which is in Mpumalanga, and it's a village called Kolkata. So, if you know that place, you know what I'm talking about. If you're from that place, you know what I'm talking about. And the other township that I lived in the most is Kapogwin, because that's where my family is from. My father's side of the family, they're in Maporo, and my mom's side are in Kapogwin. Ngotini, actually. Yes, they're in Ngotini. So if you know those areas, you know what I'm talking about, you know what it looks like, and I'm actually proud of Ngotini. It's actually a pretty civilized, it's a pretty civilized township, if I do say so myself. So, yeah, I'm not talking out of my ass, okay? I know I'm not just saying things just to say them. I'm not just saying things to get on everybody's bad side for some clout. No, I don't do that. I've been exposed to all sorts of things. I've also grown up in Sunnyside, which, if you know, was a terrifying place to grow up. It was terrifying to everybody else outside of Sunnyside, but if you lived in Sunnyside, all those traumatic things were normal. And I was a kid, so I didn't really understand how dangerous that place was and all the dark things. I noticed the dark things happening, but I didn't know how to react to it, okay? So I've seen a lot. Okay, I've seen a lot, and I don't want to talk about it because I'm not here for your sympathy, okay? I'm not here to tell you guys about my trauma so that you guys feel sorry for me and pity me. No, that's not what this is about. I just want to let you know that I do have some experience, and all the things that I mentioned in that previous video are things that I'm talking about from experience, okay? And to add on to that, I volunteered for, last year I was an ANC Youth League member. I wasn't officially a member. I didn't really fill in that application form nor pay the fee, but I was doing volunteer work and I was very active in that volunteer group. It's called the ANC Youth League Ward 33, because that's the ward. Ward 33 is the area that we were in, which is in Ngotini. And I played many roles as the person who was taking the minutes of the meeting. I was a data capturer, and I also took part in cleaning said township. Okay, so we would go around, and it's blazing hot outside, right? We're sweating, and we're picking up filth in the little bushes and stuff. There's like a shortcut towards the complex, and in there's like all sorts of litter, okay? And we were cleaning up that area, which we did in vain because within a week later it was trashed again. It became a dumping site yet again. But, and that's also one of the reasons why I'm saying we need to do better as a community, right? We're not taking care of our own environment. We're not taking care of the land that we do have. And yet we expect the government to give us the rest. Okay, at least the white people are doing something with the land that they have. At least they're doing something about it. It's not like there's like random land that's just sitting there unkept and abandoned. But we, in the environments that we are, in the land that we do have, that we do own, that we have freedom to, upgrade, upkeep, and just make it a better place for our community, we don't do that. We don't do that, And like I said, no one is going to be willing to volunteer. No one is going to be willing to volunteer, okay? Although there are some men in the streets that are willing to cut grass for 50 rand, okay? I could pay somebody 100 rand to cut the grass, in that area. That will take a lot because there's some trees that they need to cut down that are growing in the wrong directions, and it's really affecting the students that have to walk past that area and the cars that have to drive past that area. So, if I had that money, I probably would. But at the same time, it's like, why would I when you don't even take care of the place? When I know that even though even though the grass will be cut and the trees will be nicely trimmed so that people can see and people can walk conveniently, they're going to trash it within the next week. You're going to trash the place within the next week. So if you want the government and the white people to come save you and come help you, you can't even help yourself. And yet you want them to come to your aid. I mean, if I was a person with that kind of money that was able to fix the roads in my community, donate to the clinics and all that stuff, it would still be a hard decision for me to make because I've seen how you take care of the things that were given to you already. I've seen that. The bathrooms are horrible. In a hospital, they should not look like that. In a hospital, they should not look like that. Even if you can't afford to have prettier looking toilets, you can afford to have them be cleaner. And even the workers there that clean, I've seen them clean. You've seen them clean. Don't come here act like you've never seen how they clean. I'm not bashing anybody, but you've seen how they look in these public toilets. You've gone to Timba Hospital. You see what it looks like, okay? Don't tell me you cannot afford pine gel. Don't tell me you cannot afford domestos. Because in this little one room of mine, I can keep it clean. I've lived in bigger houses before, okay? So I know that domestos and sunlight go a long way in keeping an environment smelling clean and being clean. What's the point of having all these sanitizers that some are actually expired if there is feces littered all over the toilet? It's not cleaned up. And yes, I get it. As a cleaner, it is very disrespectful and disgusting for me to come back to the toilets that I just cleaned and see that somebody just left their feces all over that seat, like an uncivilized animal. So, and guess who did that? It's not the white man that you're blaming, okay? There are some, there's 3 or 4 white people you would see in that hospital on a daily basis. Less than 10, okay? And you as an individual, I'm not even talking about as a black person, but as an individual, you don't even want to clean that environment yourself. You're the one that made that disgusting mess, but you're going to leave it to the cleaner because that's their job at the end of the day, but that's your filth. You're just showing that you are a disgusting person and you have no respect for yourself or the people that clean in that area. And it's funny because I'm looked like, when people look at me, when I'm sanitizing an area, or I'm cleaning up the toilet, or I'm cleaning up the kitchen, the community kitchen that we all have access to, they be like, oh, she thinks she's better than us, oh, she's so bougie, or and you think I'm all looking down at you in disgust, like I have my nose high up in the air. No. I just clean up, and me ask me, oh, don't clean, and I'm like, Yeah, I know, but I want to clean it so I can use it. You know? I want to clean it so I can use it. I'm not gonna make my food in that dirty environment. I'm not gonna feel safe enough to eat. In order for me to feel safe enough to eat, I have to clean that area and clean all the utensils that I'm going to use to make my food. If it looks disgusting, and there's nothing to clean with, I'm just gonna leave it and try to find something else to eat. Like I said, in the hospitals, the bathrooms are alarmingly disgusting. I'm scared. Like, I was in a situation where I had to go to the hospital very regularly until I made the decision to stop going because I didn't see the point. I only felt like crap afterwards. Every time I felt like crap. And so yeah, I was just like, this is not making me better. This is just making me worse. It's just making me more angry and agitated. So I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm just going to find another alternative. And so I've gone to the hospital many times and I've seen how people take care of that place. I've seen how patients take care of that place. They don't. They make a mess, and I'm not talking about the patients that are handicapped, that can't do anything on their own. That's why they're nurses, right? I'm talking about the ones that are fully capable of bending down to pick up their trash and cleaning after themselves. Okay, you have people that just sneeze with their mouths wide open in a hospital, and that's not even the only place they do that. So I'm talking about you being a better person in the Black community. There's a reason why there's all these stereotypes about us, and I see the reason why every day. Every time I walk out of this house, I see it. You have people breathing down your neck and you don't even care to have oral hygiene. I'm just asking you to really love and respect yourself and take yourself seriously so that everyone else can take you seriously. So this is not about politics, okay? I'm not making a political statement, okay? So you telling me about the ANC doing this, that, and the third, and the white people owning this, that, and the third has nothing to do with what I'm talking about, okay? We are already not taking care of what we do have. You have your body, for one. Are you doing everything you can to take care of it? Honestly. Are you taking your medication like you're supposed to? Are you keeping your body active like you're supposed to? Are you making sure that you don't get any STIs? Are you protecting your body like that? Are you? You have your precious brain, the most powerful thing a human being has. Are you educating yourself? We do have access to a lot of information right now. Even the children in the rural areas, like I said, I live in a village, so kids here do have phones. And what do they watch? TikTok. What do they watch on TikTok? Funny videos, right? But that same TikTok, right, has all this information on how to treat yourself and how to treat other people around you, how to maintain good oral hygiene in general, how to keep your environment clean, how to keep yourself nice and groomed. And they have all these other things that you want to learn about. Anything you want to learn about. You want to learn how to do hair? You have TikTok and YouTube for that. I always say that a lot of things that I've learned are through TikTok and mostly YouTube. If someone asks me who taught you, who's your teacher, who's your mentor, it's YouTube. All the creators on YouTube that have taught me, those are the people that I would consider my teachers. That's the school I went to learn the things that I do know. YouTube. So I don't understand why you say the reason why we're unemployed is because of the government. Yeah, sure. Do you really want a corporate job? Do you really want a 9-to-5? A lot of people are quitting their 9-to-5s. I don't want you to expect the government to give you what you're worth because we've seen that they don't. We've seen that. Okay, the government is not stopping you from starting your business. Okay, it's not. We all know an aunt or an uncle or a big brother that's selling some perfumes on the sides, selling some hair on the sides, selling some wigs, doing some nails, doing some hair. What have you done, or what have they done to invest in that business of theirs? What have they done? I have an aunt who was a salesperson at first, but she upgraded. I don't know what the title is right now. I saw how dedicated she was in that craft. Okay? She would teach me all these tricks, like when you're preparing a package, make sure nothing is wrinkled. Okay? Nothing is wrinkled. Put a thank you card in there, right? Put a thank you card with that person's name so that they feel appreciated. You know, if they bought like a purse, or they bought a handbag, or they bought some shoes, or they bought jewelry, and you know that the company that you're a salesperson for sells perfumes, you spray that perfume on the item. That way when they receive it, they'll be like, oh my gosh, my package smells so good. What is that? And then you can introduce them to another product that you're selling. And just like that, you're selling another product, okay? You can easily do that. If you're a nail tech, advertise your work everywhere in all your social platforms. You're not going to get 1,000 views or 10 million views overnight, of course, but it takes dedication. It takes consistency. And I know I struggle with that too. I mean, I started YouTube and I want to be consistent, but I've been off this thing for a month and a half. And I've made a lot of excuses. Okay? But now I can't even afford to make any excuses. I have my light camera. I have my new tripod. I have good lighting now. I was afraid to do this at first because I was like, I can't record outside because I live right next to a Taven. So every time I try to record, their music is just booming. So you barely can even hear me. Or in this place that I live in, the landlord is still building new units here. So sometimes they do come here, the men do come here and get some work done. And I can't be outside recording, right? So I needed a new light so I can record in the house like what I'm doing now. One of the things I've seen being a volunteer, like I said, I was a volunteer for the ANC, and we did go house to house. We went door to door. We visited the grandparents. We visited the houses where everybody is unemployed. Everybody in that house is unemployed, and they're all living off of grants that the government gives. So I know how tough it is, okay? Even in my family, we have relatives that are living off of e-grant. There are a lot of family members who are living off e-grant, and I'm one of them. I live off of that 370 rand that I get from the government. Okay, I live off of that. And I invested on that to buy this light so I can make better quality videos, so I can have better lighting for when I record. And I know lighting is not important, but it's important for me and for the kind of things that I want to do, so I invested in it. Okay, how much do you invest in the things that you love to do? Because, like I said, I've lived in the townships. I've met a lot of people, especially during this volunteering thing, because if it wasn't for this volunteering work that I've done, I would have never known half the people that I know now. You know, when we're doing door-to-door visiting the community, I've chat with these girls that I'm working with. And they are excited to get their 370 rand to do what? To go drink. To go drink. Your priority is a good time. And I'm not judging you for that, but don't blame other people when nothing is going right in your life. When you have nothing that you've built or created or anything that you've done to contribute to the betterment of your life, your family, or your community. Okay? I would listen to them complain about what they don't have. Some of them have kids, right? And we're all around the same age. They all have kids. But they're like, no, their dad is going to send money. The government is going to send me 500 rand, which is not enough to raise a child. Honestly, it's not. I've seen those prices. They're not enough. 500 rand is barely enough to get formula and nappies that are going to last a month for a child. But no, that's enough for them. So that 370 is going to go to what? Them drinking. And I get it, life is hard. Some people just want to drink their pain away, want to drink their troubles away. But the problem is you come back and complain. I mean, if you're satisfied with your life and you chose that drinking is just the only thing, and it's, like I said, it's the easier thing. You are choosing what's easier to do. And I want you to accept the consequences of that action. Accept the consequences of those choices. And don't blame anybody else. I know that a lot of people are unemployed in this country. A lot of people go straight out of college to staying at home with their parents. I know that I have relatives, I have siblings who have gone through that. I know that. There are a lot of people with degrees and they have no jobs, right? But you have access to YouTube. You have a phone. You can take what you learned in college and start making videos about it. Because one thing there is never not going to be is students out there. And YouTube is going to pay you for that, trust me. You can have classes. You can tutor people. Okay? There's a lot that you can do with the skills that you already have. Stop expecting the government to do shit for you. I'm trying not to cuss in this video. Stop expecting the government to do things for you, okay? And do things for yourself. If you're a singer, are you doing those vocal exercises every day? Are you practicing singing? I know you probably can't afford a vocal coach. I'm in the same boat with you, girl. I cannot afford a vocal coach, okay? But in a video that I've deleted many years ago, I wanted to learn how to sing really badly. I know that that's a talent that I do have and I want it to be a professional at it, but I can't afford it. So what did I do? I wrote an email to Cheryl Porter, a very famous vocal coach, and I told her, listen, I'm a girl in South Africa and I really want to sing. I'm inspired to sing. And it's not like I didn't even ask her to give this to me for free. I asked her, is there any other way that I can pay for these courses? Because I don't have the money for it. Maybe I can be of service in some other way for me to be able to have these courses. And she's the one that decided, you know what, I'm going to give you a free scholarship. I'm going to give you a scholarship to take this course. And I've been taking that course for years, and I know I'm at fault for this. Like I said, it's my fault. I wasn't consistent. And there's a lot of reasons why I wasn't consistent. I moved around a lot, first of all. I lived in many family relatives' houses, and I really did not feel comfortable to be screaming at the top of my lungs and sounding like a dead cow and just inconveniencing them. So the only time I felt safe enough to do those exercises is if I'm alone and there's nobody in the house, which is not consistent for me to actually have a consistent routine, right? So the progress of my voice did take a little longer, but now I live in a place where I can sound like a dying hyena for however long I want, and nobody's gonna be inconvenienced by that. So right now I don't have any excuse not to do my vocal exercises, okay? We have 24 hours in a day, that's plenty of enough time. I know this because I asked AI to help me come up with a schedule. I gave AI all the things that I want to get done in a day and all the things I want to get done during the weekend, and this is how much I want to sleep, and I want to spend this much time on this. This is more important to me. I gave them all the details, and they put together a schedule for me. And I even had 2 to 3 hours of free time. And I had a lot to do. Okay, I'm a student. There are things I want to study. I have assignments to do. I have content to create. I have 2 channels, a Korean one and this one. Okay, so I am quite busy. And I still have 2 hours to binge watch whatever I want to watch. And I still have enough hours to sleep. Okay, so nothing is impossible. Nothing is impossible. That first video was to empower you and get you to take yourself seriously. There are certain bad things that happen to us that we have no control over, but the things that we do have control over, we're not taking control of it. And that's what I want us to do, okay? Like I said, we were cleaning, right? We were picking up trash. Of course, we had gloves on and everything, because safety hazard. We were picking up glasses, broken glasses, wires, and things like that. So the same people I picked up the trash with would be the same people where, after traveling to an area to do some volunteer work, would eat their stuff and throw them out the window. Throw them out of the taxi window. The same people I was picking up trash with. You're hypocrites. That's what I'm saying. Stop being hypocritical. Like, how are you going to complain about something that you do yourself? I just want us to be more self-aware. Call ourselves out. Have the courage to call ourselves out on our BS, because we're offended if somebody else calls us out on our BS. So why don't you do it yourself, right? That way you even gain some confidence. I mean, that's how I gain my confidence. I tell myself crap a lot of the time because I know that I can be very lazy and very intimidated about doing the hard things, but they're very satisfying. That's one thing for sure. They're satisfying, but it takes a lot of work. And we're scared of a lot of work. We're scared of a lot of responsibilities, yet we want all this power. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. This video, that video, my first love letter to my community, I was making that message. That message was dedicated to our community behavior and mindset. Not political affiliations. My message is not a political statement. I am not praising the white people. I'm not praising ANC. I'm not praising the government. They all have flaws. Okay? They all have flaws. I'm not saying be like anybody. I'm just saying do better, because you can, and you have that power to. And stop expecting everyone else to feed you with a silver spoon or to hold your hand, because that's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. If you're waiting for that to happen, you're going to stay stuck in poverty, and you're going to keep blaming everybody else and be bitter when other people succeed. Like I talked about that in my previous video, that you don't even want to see another black person succeed, yet you want success. Y'all bewitch each other. Like, don't tell me you don't see that happening in the black community. And the girl in the comment also mentioned that she went to these townships and visited their business facilities, and they're all kind and they're all nice. That's a little BS. That is not true. They're not all kind. They're not all nice. I know that for a fact. Okay? I went to the clinic a while back, like many years ago, I think during COVID. And this lady had to do an HIV test on me, so she had to prick my skin. She was not wearing gloves, the nurse. And she got pissed at me. I have anemia, okay? So my blood is not just gonna come pouring out, okay? She had to squeeze for the blood to actually start coming out. And then she had to put it on that whatever device. But she got mad because my fingers are too small and the blood got over her fingers. And she was yelling at me, being frustrated at me. You get to the police station, you get to the doctor's office, like you get into the public hospital, you get into a public clinic. Anytime you ask, they look at you like, how do you not know anything? Like there was a time where I was like suffering some very severe withdrawal symptoms from the medication that I was receiving from the hospital. When I stopped taking them, I had like withdrawal symptoms. And I didn't know at the time until I did my research, and I was like, oh, those were withdrawal. I thought I was just coming down with a bad flu or I had some kind of virus. And when I went to the clinic, this lady was telling me to take a pregnancy test. And she just gave me some strip in this little cup. And I was like, how do you pee in this? And what is this for? Like, I was so confused. I had so many questions because I've never done this before. Bless her heart, she did try to explain it to me a couple of times, but it still did not make sense to me. I didn't know how to pee on that thing. I needed her to like physically show me what I was supposed to do, because I couldn't figure it out. Like, I just couldn't figure it out. I had to ask another girl in the bathroom, like, girl, how do you do this? What's going on here? Like, I had no clue, because she was getting fed up with me. The nurse was getting fed up with me. And if you're a nurse, isn't patience one of your shouldn't patience be one of the qualities that you should have? Not everybody's gonna know. You know, just because you do this every day and this is an environment you're experienced to every day doesn't mean every other civilian is. Okay? And also, another lady that was there with me, she didn't know English very well. And the nurse was so fed up because she's like, you're trying to act stupid. You're trying to play dumb, and I know you're not dumb. I'm telling you this for the last time. Repeat it right back to me. She was very angry, very aggressive, and very forceful. And as a nurse, is that allowed? Are you allowed to treat patients like that? Yell at them, scream at them, bully them? She called her names. Inappropriate names. I was flabbergasted. A lot of times you're scared when you come to the hospital. You see all these needles, all these tubes that need all your blood, and you need them to keep you calm, reassure you, but no, they're yelling at you, ridiculing you because you don't know anything, and you're confused. That makes no sense to me, right? And like I said, I was a data capturer when I was doing volunteer work, and the authorities, the leaders in that youth league group, said that they were going to give us airtime to be able to call, because we had to capture the data of the amount, the many houses that they visited, how many people are ANC voters, how many are not. You know, there were a lot of categories that we had to fill out via these calls, and the people who are actually doing the work would call us and give us updates. Like, it's 10:59 right now. These are the houses we've been to. These are the many people that are going to be supporting ANC, you know, in this election, this, that, and the third. So we had to use our own data, our own airtime the first day. The second day, the minister came. She came, the next day she came to watch us work. And that day is the day that the leaders, the people of authority, went out to get us airtime so that we could stop using our own to do this work. Anyway, like I said, this is not a political statement. That video that I made was not a political statement, okay? It was a call for self-awareness and self-improvement and improvement within the community. But the problem is, every time when someone tries to do better, they get ridiculed and bullied out of it. So it's like, what do you want people to do for you? What do you want them to do for you? Ufnan. What must happen, Jay? Like, I don't understand, right? And I acknowledge that while some might blame external factors like the corruption or political mismanagement, my focus is on how everyday actions, okay, everyday actions and personal accountability play a crucial role in the community overall. Okay? That's what I'm saying. Those things play a role in the progress of our community. And this is not like America where we are the minority. We are the majority here. We are the majority. But those who do have privilege, they use it for the wrong things. And like I said, you focus so much on what you don't have and what was not given to you, and you don't realize what you do have, what is inherently yours. Like, there's a time where I went out with my brothers, because my big brother's a DJ, my big sister is an MC, so they're all in the entertainment world. So every time there's like an event, there were times where I'd be like, okay, I haven't communicated with other human beings other than my family in the last 5 months. Maybe I should go outside, right? So I'll go with them because they always have like an event every other weekend or every weekend. So that day I decided to go with them, and I was with a bunch of girls. I don't know how, and you know how crazy these things get. And there were a bunch of girls that had no money. Well, they finished their money and they still wanted to have a good time. And I watched them put together 500 rand within the hour to get more drinks. So don't tell me you don't have money, because you're willing. Like, I've seen my brothers, even when they're broke, I've seen them still go out and come back drunk and full because they somehow got the money. I've seen them call all the people they know to put the money together. I've seen them go to every mother, every aunt, every cousin in the house, asking for 5 rand, 10 rand, 20 rand, anything that they could give so we could have a good time. And it pulled through. So don't tell me that you don't have the money. Don't tell me you don't have the money. You choose where your money goes. You're the one that decides the priorities of your life. Okay? You're the one that decides that. You're the one that gets to choose, like, what's important for me right now is to have a good time. I don't care about the fact that I don't have a business card at this moment. As a business owner, you know, you're starting out. You're what, 21? You're selling earrings. You're washing shoes. You're cutting hair. You can easily make that business thrive. There's so many courses, free tutorials on how to make your business thrive, how to be a master at your craft, even if you can't afford to have professional teachers. And I know it's frustrating. I've been there, okay? I'm an aspiring artist. I love to dance. I love to sing. But I was frustrated because I was like, how am I ever going to succeed in life? Because I can't even afford to succeed. But then I realized, you know what? You actually can. It's just going to take a lot more work, and it's just going to be a lot harder. So what are you going to do? Sit and wait for somebody to acknowledge you and see that you're talented? First of all, even the ones that could afford to be trained, they still had to consistently train and put themselves out there before they even got noticed, okay? So yeah, even if they had money to have a professional teacher and stuff, professional coaches, they're in dance studios, they've been in competitions and this, that, and the third, but they had to constantly put themselves out there to be noticed. Because no one's going to find you if you're just sitting there, not doing anything. Nobody knows who you are. Only the people around you know you can dance. Only the people around you know that you're a great writer, great singer. Only the people around you. And they're not in a position to sponsor you in a way that you deserve to be. And that's because you're not putting yourself out there. Are you waiting for the government to look for you? Are you waiting for the government to like go to the townships and say we're looking for people with this skill, with this talent? And trust me, even when that day comes, you have not been practicing your craft either way. So even if that day comes, you're not prepared to audition because you sat home saying, I can't afford it. I can't afford it. I mean, you have your phone. It's frustrating. I know. I've been there. Okay? I've had to look at dance tutorials, learn these basic dance moves on my little phone. Like, I'm glad I have a laptop now. I got this laptop this year because I was starting school. And it's much more convenient. But I had to do it on this. And I had no access to a mirror. I had to use the windows outside. I had to use my neighbor's windows. My next door neighbor has, you know how a lot of houses these days, they have these mirror-like glass things? They're glass, but they're also mirrors. Like when you walk past, you can clearly see your reflection. I had to ask her, like, can I dance in front of your house? Like, if you're walking around your house and you see me outside dancing and I just look weird and crazy, don't mind me. I need that mirror because I don't have that. I don't know how else I can see myself. There's a time where I was auditioning for a dance competition, which I didn't make it, but it did take me a lot to study. And not to study, to practice and get it right because I had no access to a mirror. I was visiting a family friend living in her house, and she lives in a similar one room as this one. So it's pretty small, very compact, right? And there was no mirror. So I didn't even know if I was doing the moves right until I had to record myself. Until I had to record myself and I realized, damn, your form is completely off. You look painfully awkward, right? Probably why I didn't make the cut. So I'm just like, okay, but it's a little embarrassing to be dancing in front of my neighbor's house, but that's the only mirror I've got. The question is, how bad do you want this? You know, if you are waiting for an opportunity, while you're waiting, you should be preparing yourself for said opportunity so that when people are like, okay, we're looking for some kind of people, looking for this kind of person, you know you're prepared. You know you have a song ready. You know you have a dance routine ready. Right? And I'm making all these examples based on the things that I'm interested in, but this works for any other craft, any other skill that you may have. There's nothing wrong with mastering the skill. Even if you are very confident in your skill and you're very good at what you do, there's nothing wrong with still working on it. But like I'm saying, there are a lot of people that have great talents, but only the people around them know that. And they're not doing anything to put themselves out there. And I get it. If that's not what you want to do, sure. But if that is what you want to do, then why not take yourself seriously? The question is, how seriously do you take yourself? How seriously do we take ourselves as the Black community? Some of us are even scared to succeed because we're going to get killed for it. Even though our success is going to benefit the community. No. It's like the only people that can succeed are the Black people that already came from privilege. But it's offensive if you and I both came from poverty and you're the one that succeeds. I'm not happy for you. I'm upset because it's like, why is that not me? But how is that going to be you when you did not do what that person did to get to where they are? You wanted to drink and go party and do all those other things. They chose not to, and they were ridiculed and laughed at, but now they're succeeding in life, and you want to hate them, you want to kill them. I know the corruption of the government exists. I'm not denying its existence. What I'm saying is, we as individuals and as a community do play a major role in the progress of our community and economy, okay? We are neglecting the major roles that we have, and we're looking at other people to play their roles right. You're not even playing your own role right. And the many issues I've raised in part 1 of the video, which include but aren't limited to issues of lack of respect, lack of work ethic, are not caused by politics. We have an unacceptably high tolerance for BS in the Black community. We tolerate so much bull. It needs to stop. Like, if we want to do better, if we want to be better, if we want to be respected and have all these ridiculous stereotypes about us just removed, we need to prove that we are not the stereotypes. And all we do is prove everybody right, that we are aggressive, we are passive aggressive, we are lazy, we are hypocrites, we are violent, we are uneducated. And that's not because of the government. The government did not make me fluent in English. I went to a primary school for 7 years, from grade 1 to 7, so 7 years. And we did not all turn out the same. And yeah, maybe home environments play a part, but I had this one Zimbabwean kid who was way more eloquent and more fluent in English than I was. And no one else in his family was. It was just him. Why? Because he watched a lot of English content, watched a lot of people speaking, watched a lot of public speaking, watched a lot of people reading poetry and things of that nature, and that's how he learned how to have perfect pronunciation, good diction, and all that great stuff that the English teachers loved about him. It was not because of his environment, it's because of what he did. He worked hard to be able to speak that well, to be that educated, to be that well articulate, okay? It had nothing to do with privilege. Also, with the businesses, there's something I want to mention. Businesses fail due to theft and dishonesty, a lot of scamming, okay? And an example is the Tupperware company. The fact that it went bankrupt, it was the first time I heard of it a while ago, like a few weeks ago, a month ago probably, and I was like, it went bankrupt? Every household has Tupperware. Dozens of Tupperware. And you're telling me this company went bankrupt? How? That's because the salespersons would sell these things and a lot of people would order them, and these salespeople would deliver these products to the people that they knew close. People that they were close friends. It's like me selling items from my company, and because you and I are close, I'm going to give it to you and you can pay me whenever. And half the time they don't pay, which is why it went bankrupt. Emotional manipulation. Oh, I have 3 kids, my husband doesn't even care. I will get the money as soon as I can. Can I just have the container? Like, life is tough, I get it, but this is a business. This is a business, okay? People's lives are also at stake here, because if this business fails, people are going to lose their jobs. And we're going to lose income. Some people would pay, some won't. Some would pay after 3 months. Some would pay after 6 months. Some, you still have to call even if it's been a year. Okay? And that played a role in the downfall of Tupperware. And a lot of businesses are like that, especially in the Black community. We all lie to each other, we're dishonest, we are not strict enough, and we're not even formal. And I think one of the reasons is this: if you don't treat your business like an elite, high-end business, high-end corporation, where you are extremely formal, nobody's gonna take you seriously. We're gonna laugh and chat like we're best buddies, even though this is a serious matter. You owe the company money. You need to pay. Okay? Take yourself seriously. Take your business seriously. Of course you're going to offend people, but stop making it seem like just because we're all from the same community, you all get to disrespect me and not take me seriously. It doesn't work like that. Just because we all grew up together, if I have a hair business, if I'm doing hair and you want me to do your hair, I might give you a discount, sure, but you still have to pay. This is my workplace. This is not a favor for a friend. This is a business transaction, and you need to take it seriously. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, guys. Take yourself seriously. Take your business seriously. Take your skills and crafts seriously. It is hard to do it without money, but it's not impossible. It's not impossible. It's hard to do it without money, without connections. You can't expect everybody to drop everything to help you. Okay, most of the time you're gonna help yourself. That's just how life is. That's just how it works. And a lot of these business people in the townships just have poor entrepreneurship skills, and you don't want to educate yourself further on those. They just have the lack. It's like the lack of desire to sharpen their skills and master their crafts is a huge issue in the Black community. I want us to take accountability. Look, I'm sick of the toxicity of labeling self-improvement as acting white. That is BS. It needs to stop. Okay? Since when does discipline, self-love, and just self-respect and ambition erase things? That first video and this one, it is to challenge you and myself to reflect and to lead by example instead of waiting for someone else. instead of waiting for a white or black savior. We are powerful. We're not damsels in distress. We are a very powerful community, a very creative community, very intelligent. We have a lot of creative geniuses in this community, okay? And the ANC that this girl in the comment was blaming is predominantly black, which proves my point that we are the problem, us black people. ANC is painfully corrupt. And how many people are in there? The majority of them are what? Black. They are what? Black. And they are one of the biggest problems that affect the black community. It's the fellow black leaders. So you get my point, right? I hope you do. I really hope you do. Because there's nothing else I can say. That's all I have. I hope I've cleared up any misunderstandings. And I won't be discussing this further. Also, I want to make that point. I'm not going to be discussing this issue further. So if there are any misunderstandings after everything that I've said in this really long video, there's nothing else I can say to you. There's nothing else I can say to you, honestly. So, I said what I said. I stand by what I said. And yeah, so you do with it what you will. And I'll see you guys in my next video. So, bye, sweet peas.